right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Jacqueline's A Taste of Manna podcast. And this is a pre-recorded video of a very simple recipe because I think it's so beneficial to do live presentations for our audience, especially if you're just now transitioning to a healthier lifestyle. Some of the problems I had was I know I needed to change how I cooked, but I was so uncertain, about so many things. What should the texture look like? Do I have it right? And I like simple. Simple is better. And I'm just going to do a brief demonstration of a quick go-to, and you can use this. Um, and what I'm about to make is a waffle. A waffle, and for the ingredients, I'm using 2.5 to 3 bananas, and I already have my bananas here in my canister. I'm using 1.5 cups of oats, as you see, and gluten-free oats. And the oats that I'm using are Farmers We Know, and these are rolled sprouted oats. Sometimes I do have some digestion issues, so if I do any type of grain, I do try to make sure that it is sprouted. And again, if you have problems, any type of digestive issues where grain is a problem, you can use any type of gluten-free flour, and I think that it will work just as well. One thing that I would love to try, I haven't tried it, but I thought about it. I did make muffins with my own almond flour. I actually, using my Vitamix, I ground up my own almond flour to make my own almonds. I'm sorry, to make my almond flour, and the recipe was just wonderful. So I'm going to try this recipe with my own almonds, making my almond flour, and I'll let you know how it turns out. If it's good, and when I say good, I'm looking at the appearance, I'm looking at the texture, as well as the taste of it. Now, what I'm making here is a waffle. And with this waffle, you can use it. You can take this waffle, you can turn it into a snack. It can be a healthy breakfast just by adding some nut butter or seed butter to it. You don't have to add anything to it. It's still healthy without, adding anything additional to it. I've tried it with, I've made some cashew cream, and it was just wonderful. I added cashew cream, and I topped it. I love the berry mixture. That's a combination of blueberries, raspberries, and blackberries, and it was so good. So whatever your preferences are of fruit, whatever your preferences are of spreads that you want to use on it, go for it, as long as it's nutritious. The objective of this I'm not using any refined sugar. My banana and is going to be my sweetener. In addition to the banana, I'm going to use a 1/3 cup of applesauce, unsweetened applesauce. I don't have any applesauce. However, I tried it before, and an apple will work just as well. So I'm going to cut up my apple in my banana. And if you're using an apple, I do not peel it. I include my fiber. I include the nutrients of the apple. I use the peeling on it. One thing you want to be careful of are those seeds. Do not include those seeds. Eating apple seeds can cause cyanide poisoning. So you want to make sure that you steer clear of those seeds and those apples when you're juicing, when you're in your smoothies. If you're using any apples, you want to make sure you stay clear of that. If you don't want to do the apples, again, 1/3 of unsweetened applesauce would be sufficient. And so I have my bananas, I have my applesauce. I'm going to add my sprouted oats, which is 1.5 cups of oats. And just to give myself a little bit more fiber and nutrients, I am going to add some chia seeds. I'm actually going to add 3 tablespoons. Chia seeds are not required. You don't have to add those, but I am a nutrient addict. All the nutrients that I can get, I try to get into my recipe. So I have my 3 tablespoons of chia seeds. I always get organic. And again, even with your apples, if you can, be sure especially when you're using the skin of the apple, the peeling. I don't like peeling apples, so I want to make sure I get organic apples. And my chia seeds are organic. They're very good, a good source of omega threes, iron, high in fiber, that good calcium, and again, gluten free. So there I am. Another thing I like, now again, you don't have to use the cinnamon. You can just add the oats, 1.5 cups of oats, the 3 bananas, and the applesauce. Good to go for your waffle. I like waffles. I love the Belgian waffles, and oh, this is so good. I just love it. You can add, the next thing I do like to add occasionally is cinnamon. Now, I have Ceylon cinnamon or my Saigon, my organic Saigon cinnamon. I like the taste of cinnamon. So even though it's very, very healthy, Ceylon is, the taste is not as strong. When I'm making my waffles, I want a stronger cinnamon flavor. So I use this in some of when I'm making chai tea. I love to use my Ceylon cinnamon powder. But for this recipe, I'm going to use Saigon, cinnamon, organic ground cinnamon. And I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit. Again, you don't have to, if you're opposed to cinnamon, you don't have to add it. If you love it, add it. Whatever, how much, from anywhere from 1 teaspoon to whatever your flavor preferences are, it's up to you. So I'm good to go. I have my apples, I have my bananas, I've got my oats, and now it's time to just add the top, put the top of my blender. I have a Vitamix. This recipe don't need a Vitamix, but there are some recipes, like when you're making creams and things, a Vitamix may need, a Vitamix may be required for that. But for this particular recipe, you do not need a Vitamix. And I'm just going to plug it into my little blender here, into my Vitamix. Let me set it here on the table. That is